the interesting thing about the blockchain technology is, what happens if, there's a murder case and like, you essentially, there's a video of Shawn committing a murder, and I have it, it's real,
run with
right? But like, what's actually going to happen, I believe, is that the blockchain is what's going to prevent you from being convicted for murder someday. The blockchain is going to recognize that you're sitting in this room, some sensor grabs your ID, you as a human being, and certain assets tied to that.
Yep.
And I think it's going to start with location tracking. You're already seeing companies do that, but that's the first piece of it. And I think that's where the blockchain technology is truly going to excel. And then as assets, like, what happens if your family member dies, right? And you have a will, right? It's never going to be no more paper wills, right? It's going to be boom, click,
right?
Your Bitcoin disperses to your people per whatever blockchain contract you set up for your will. Boom, done.
Yep.
That's how the world's going to move. All right, so today on the New How podcast, we have Shawn Bullard, the founder and CEO of Concrete Investments, is one of the most respected and well-known real estate developers in the Philadelphia area. As a trailblazer in the industry, Bullard established Concrete Investments as a senior at Temple University in 2005 with limited resources. Bullard graduated and earned his BS in sport, recreation, and facilities management with a minor in tourism and hospitality. He was also a standout strong safety on Temple's football team and a full scholarship student athlete. Bullard played professionally for 2 years with the San Diego Chargers, now the Los Angeles Chargers, in the NFL, and gained recognition as America's first black bachelor on WeTV show's Match Made in Heaven back in 2015. As a successful entrepreneur, Bullard trademarked the term Zaddy, which we're going to get into, and secured several government-issued trademarks in categories such as the men's skincare, condoms, clothing, and herbal supplements. Zaddy, a term describing an attractive and sophisticated man, is now being launched as a health, wealth, and wellness brand. He has already received seven-figure buyout offer from global self-care conglomerate. Shawn, welcome to the show.
What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Doing good, man. Shawn, every time I start the show, I'm like, when did we meet? And I'm thinking back, I'm looking at my email. Right. Back in like 2018, we met. And it was, we've done projects and things, like designed some stuff for you, but it was 2018 we were introduced, and I was like, it's been 6 years, feels like longer than that, but we've known each other for 6 years at this point.
6 years, bro, but it was like a bro love at first sight.
That's right. That's right. So Shawn, I want to get into a little bit. You went to Temple University, TU, but you're playing football the whole time, safety, and you're like, I'm going to the NFL. Talk about that.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. It's been a while. It's about time you asked.
I've been trying. I've been waiting. I don't want you the first episode. I want to get you. You want to be later.
All right. I appreciate it. I actually walked on. So I went to Johnson C. Smith. I went to Johnson C. Smith, which is a historical black college. My freshman year, and I went down there, and I'll be honest, man, it was like a little gang down there, right? And I actually got into an altercation with about 8 guys that were like drug dealers on campus or whatever, and I'm fighting them, I'm whipping their ass, and I actually got stabbed 5 times.
Jesus.
I got stabbed 5 times or whatever. I only thought I was stabbed once, and I went to the hospital. I found out I was stabbed 4 other times, and at that moment, I had a collapsed lung, a whole 9 or whatever. The doctor was like, I don't know, Jim. I got my finger down. There's one in his back. It's like an inch from his heart. And I'm like, and I'm awake. I'm chilling. Right? Not until the next day, and they had to stick the tube inside of me for my lung and all the internal bleeding and pus and all that stuff. Yeah. I waited 3 days to call my parents because I thought they was going to whoop my ass. And my parents flew right down the same day I called them. And I actually went back to school that following semester just to show I ain't no punk. You know what I mean? We've seen the guys, and so at that time, so many emotions went through me, like revenge,
near-death experience.
Near-death experience, yeah. And then also I'm seeing the guy. I'm like, I want to kill this dude, and survived that. Came back home. I was like, you know what? I'm bigger than this. Came back home. I was I wanted to go to Temple, but Temple didn't actually accept me. And next thing you know, I'm a dropout. So I'm working at a place called NCO Financial, where I was a bill collector. And I was doing that. I was hustling like some weed on the side, selling like little drugs and shit, trying to make money. And one day I'm at my girlfriend's house, her parents' house, and she went to Temple. She was a straight A student, computer science major, and we're on the couch, and it was one of the guys from the Temple basketball team. He had just got like drafted from the Sixers, and she was like, and we watching the Sixers game, and she was like, he always flirts with me. And bro, it lit a fire under I was like, I'm sitting there on the couch like,
Watch me.
Right, this used to be me.
So then you go walk on. You're like, all right, I'm going to Temple. I'm going to walk on.
I went to Temple. I got denied again, but a lady at my church worked in the missions, and she basically told them, look, she said, if white kids can do this curriculum, Shawn Bullard can do this curriculum. I need you guys to accept him.
Yep.
And she got me in on a probationary period. And I did that, walked onto the team, and after that started taking positions. I got full scholarship, and then
all right, we'll let you stay if you get 3 interceptions here.
Something like
probationary / football. No,
something like that. Yeah,
that's awesome. And the rest is history. So then you come out, you get drafted by the Chargers.
Yeah, I got undrafted free agent by the Chargers or whatever. I had a bad injury. I broke my femur. It messed up. I was damaged goods before even before you even get into the league. But I got undrafted free agent by the Chargers. 2 years I was with them. But once I broke my femur, it let me know at like 21 years old, like, dude, this ain't forever.
Yeah.
I started thinking like that.
It's like, what's next?
What's next?
Yeah.
And I've always been a what next kid, you know what I'm saying? So I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, started getting my mind right. It let me know, this is how you really make money.
And again, Rich Dad Poor Dad, for those of you, that book has come out multiple times on the show. If you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you're behind.
You're dumb. Like if you haven't, if you're really not taking serious about your own success.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great. So all right. So you see, you got to figure out what's next. You have broken femur, you're damaged goods. You're not gonna put up, become an all-star safety. Right. All right. So then real estate comes along at that point?
Yeah, so when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, broke my femur, I'm thinking, I still got full scholarship.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, what can I do? And I was like, real estate. It just clicked. My dad was a master foreman as well. And it clicked with me. So what I did was I took out a student loan. Now that I'm on scholarship, and that student loan was my down payment on the first house.
Love that.
When I was in college.
And you like house hacked to get it to like.
House hacked to get it. I made it a frat house. I turned it into Alpha Omegas.
Yeah.
The duplex in the hood.
Hell yeah.
And I scrapped it together. I had a contractor that got over on me. I had to go borrow some money.
With your student loan money, you can use it for housing, but it doesn't say you can't use it for housing to grow your net worth. And I think that's awesome. That's a great story of like ingenuity and doing it at the right level.
They did a study. Cool. A lot of people that started their business at a young age use the student loan for that. Because for me, once I had the full scholarship, the student loan was it was a full check.
Yeah.
It was a refund check.
Yeah, of course.
And that's how you get it. Yeah.
That's amazing. All right. So, and then real estate now, how long have you been in real estate for?
20 years.
20 years.
2 decades.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Telling my age now.
So your first house was a quote unquote frat house duplex. So what are you doing today? Like what types of projects are you working on? What are you getting into? You do multifamily, do you commercial? Like talk a little bit about what you're into today.
So I love multifamily. Yeah. I mean, my first house was a duplex, right? It was multifamily, but I love mixed use multifamily. I always loved the commercial aspect of how a commercial space can change a community and dictate how a community grows. Yep. I'm a guy, so what I do now is mostly new construction. Like 90% of what I do now is new construction, where it's like 20 apartments, and then on the first floor I'll have a spa, or you would love to have like a Starbucks.
Yep.
And I've been the guy that I have actually lost money on commercial spaces, waiting for the right business to come into my commercial space in order to dictate how the community is going to be. So that's what I do. I just got finished doing a 31 townhome development, gated community, but I also still do 4 units. We're about to break ground on something called the Roma, which is a 20 unit, 14 unit called the Nor, which is in Fairmount, and then an 8 unit called the Milan. So that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you're just, and then just want you to touch a little bit about right now in this market as a developer. I want people to hear from you, right? Like What are you seeing? What are you doing? How are you getting deals to work? Like, talk a little bit about the chaos that everyone's feeling a little bit.
It's tough. Deals ain't working, right?
Deals just aren't working.
They're just not working, bro. It's like putting a triangle through a hole, like a circle hole. Well, one of the things is now the game of everybody can get into real estate and make money, that's over.
Yeah,
you got to be
long gone.
That's gone. You know, I hate to say it, it is gone. You can still get in the game.
Yeah, I mean, we're right where they just released a statistic that there's more realtors in the United States than there are houses for sale. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
It came out.
Tell one of my lenders that's telling me everything is fine. I'm like, dude, where? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's hard. And I started so long ago that I have, equity, but even that equity now has been devalued because of the interest rates going up.
Correct.
And what people don't understand is your property, just like stocks, real estate can be go up and down just like that. And the cap rate or the interest rate, once the interest rate goes up, that drops the value of your property, even though if it's making the same rent per month.
Yep.
And that's what's going on. So deals that was penciling at 5%, now the interest rates is at 7%. I think it just dropped down to like 6.75, but that's just happened.
Yep.
So if you penciled at 4 and now the interest rate is at 7, it's not going to pencil anymore. The same deal. So it's hard to get financing unless you now are bringing more equity to the table.
Yeah, it's everyone's dealing with it, and I keep telling when I run into people, because a lot of my conversations are like this, they're one-on-one, and they're like, people like pick my brain, like, Brian, like, am I the only one? I'm like, look, everybody is affected by this. If anyone tells you they're not affected, they're literally probably not doing real estate or bullshitting you. Like, everybody's been affected in some way. Right. Either their balance sheets shifted, or they can't get deals to work as intended. They're calling investors to go back and get more money. It's just very slow to get shovels in the ground right now. And everyone's doing it. It's just very slow.
It's very slow.
But on the flip side, I will tell you what's been interesting. I've been having conversations with some of my clients that are like, "Hey, Brian, like, is that zoning expired? Like, ready to start permits again?" Like people that in the middle of COVID or shortly after, when stuff was really starting to tank, just put their projects on hold. Said, "We'll deal with this at a later point. At least we got the zoning."
Yep.
Now it's like, let's try to move it forward. Let's get permits going. So it's great to see some of that stuff. It tells you that something's coming. But a lot of my clients are telling me they're trying to be shovels in the ground, and we're here in March. People are planning for that early 2026, like, want to be building, want to be selling in that zone. So we'll see what happens.
At my firm, that's exactly what we've been doing. And unfortunately, it costs you a burn rate, because while you're holding on to that land,
you're paying taxes.
You're paying your
paying water bills, and you don't even have water.
You don't even got water. It's crazy. Stormwater bills going up. Like, what in the hell is going on? And that's what we came up with. That 2026, we're actually starting some projects now. To be done around this time, Q2 2026. And we're hoping that it lines up with the supply and the demand, and the interest rates dropping a little bit.
And what is weird on the out sale stuff, we are seeing a massive supply issue, because there's houses where I was at dinner literally last night with somebody telling me his buddy sold a for sale property. It was a little over $1 million. 60 people at the open house, went for $150,000 over asking. Yeah, in the burbs. Like, there's just no inventory. There's no good inventory. I have another client was building 50 homes out in Horsham. We designed a whole community. He can't build roads in quick enough. He's already pre-sold like 15 of these houses out of the 50. There's doesn't even have foundation roads, no infrastructure in yet. Already sold. Like, there's just not enough inventory. And you're hearing there. People ask me like, "Oh, should I wait to get a house?" Like, no, like, get in. You gotta, like, if you can get in now. Like, if interest rates drop, housing prices are going to go up.
They're going to go up. It's a fact.
It's just levers. It's not because the economy's bad. It's just the leverage you're able to do at a lower interest rate. You can afford a bigger, more expensive home.
Exactly.
So that supply is going to push up the demand, and the demand's going to. It's economics 101, right?
Exactly. and I try to explain that to people. My agents try to explain that to people. I was just talking to one of my lenders last night, and he was South Jersey, and like Marlton, New Jersey. what's up, Margate.
Yeah. Margate's
Selling crazy.
You can't build quick enough in Margate.
You can't build quick enough. And he was saying, Shawn, what's going on in the Philly market? Is it crap? Because like over here, I'm like,
yeah,
it's a different market. You know what I mean?
Philly's like, developing in Philly is like tying your legs together and trying to run. You can do it. You're gonna fall, and you'll get up. You'll like hobble a little bit, and then you're gonna move an inch forward. But like, just make sure like you got your infestation plan done, and your excavation plan, and your monitoring plans.
Why is it like that? Well, you like, Philly.
I know why, but
it's we need to be more developer friendly in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
and people don't understand about development cures a lot of things. And don't get me wrong, I get it. I house hacked in one of my 4 units. I'm building the 4 unit right next door.
Yep.
I go outside, and I got like one of the smaller Range Rovers, but it's still new and it's nice. And I go outside, and my own foundation guys got dust and dirt all over my brand new clean Range Rover. And at that moment, I'm like, if I was a neighbor,
they're like don't shit where you eat.
Right,
I don't know an analogy for that.
I'm like, but my point is, if I was a neighbor, I would be pissed. So I get it, you know what I mean? But for the most part, real estate development is great for crime.
Yeah,
it's great for the development of the city. And I think in Philly, it's my city, we are not real estate development friendly, unfortunately.
Well, I always ask, I probably know your answer, and I've had multiple conversations with people. Like there is a housing crisis in Philly. It's not just Philly; it's in a lot of cities, right? People say the affordability is going away, the supply is dwindling, right? Like there's not enough housing. Obviously, you have apartments, but I'm talking home ownership.
Yeah, home ownership.
Right, that's where we're talking. Sherelle, when she got elected, she came out with a bold statement like, "We're going to build 30,000 homes." And in my head, I was like, "There's no fucking way that's even going to be remotely possible." Like right. not even in the same ballpark. Like you're in like minor league team compared to like the Yankee Stadium. Like it is not a reality.
Right.
I give you a raw example where a city comes out and you've seen some of these projects. City will put out, all right, we have 30 lots for sale, right? We're going to bid on them. 20 of the lots are zoned one way, 10 of the lots are zoned another way. You go to submit the permits to the city, 15 reviewers are looking over the same house 15 different ways, ask for 15 different things. Exactly. Like how do you even you can't even how do you keep up? How do you going to do 30,000 houses when you can't even get your paperwork in order?
Exactly.
And look, again, trust the process, you can get through it, but we got our legs tied here a little bit.
We do have our legs tied here a little bit.
And you can't give it all away without the market too. You need some of the capitalism here. You do. You need to let the market play itself out. You can't try to, no more market rate, do all affordable. Like let the market rate go to the point where they're renting them at affordable rates because they can't lease them.
Because it's going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
That's and when people talking about like the real estate tax, I know that's a political talking point, but inflation is going to go up.
Of course.
So this is going to go up. Like it's what you can't get around everything. It's impossible. And with real estate development, especially here, it needs to be more friendly because when you do all the work as a developer or builder or architect and things of that sort, well, let's just take the builder right now or the developer, you're taking all the risk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you're taking all the risk, you want to have some sort of a pot of gold at the end of that journey. Mm-hmm. It's not, the margins in Philly ain't that big right now.
No, they're not.
Neither. So it's like at least, be easier with the process of getting there.
The one problem that I know, and it's just I hear from a majority of my clients, and this is why they're shifting their focus away from Philadelphia. I've waved the flag like this for a lot of. I've tried to talk to council members about it. Right. People in the city, like guys, like I'm over here waving my flag. My firm does a lot of the multifamily and housing projects in the city. Like we do a lot of it. We have a pulse of more than most. Yeah. And I've been waving this flag, going like, wow, there's some clients that we're doing hundreds of units a year that are going, I have some chips here still, but I'm going to move them to areas like Camden, Norristown, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Delaware, like things that like you didn't hear. Everyone was like coming in, wanting to invest and continue to build Philly. What they're telling me is this. These are the exact words out of one of my clients' mouths. I can't take confidently my investors' money or my own money, $1 million check, and put it into an investment in Philadelphia and know that it's safe.
Wow.
But think about that for a second.
What do they mean?
I don't know. The council member wakes up, trips and falls out of bed and decides they want to remap a strip of some main street somewhere and not talk to anybody about it, right? Someone decides to throw a new overlay that, like I mentioned this before, I had somebody in Strawberry Mansion call and said they wanted to put a 3rd-story addition on their house to get 2 rooms for their 2 sons. And literally they're in the overlay area where you're not allowed to build above 28 feet. So it would become a variance to do so, to keep their family together in Strawberry Mansion.
That's crazy.
It's nuts, right? It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So look, you have this big goal of 30,000 affordable houses. You have to deregulate a little bit. You have to make it actually achievable. But right now, it's not achievable. I bet the bank. I bet $100 million if I had it. Like, it ain't happening. I'll give you 10 years. It's still not happening.
Yeah.
With the current situation right now.
I even came up with an idea, and I was telling what's the guys at they're like the building association.
BIA.
Yeah. And I'm
great organization. For those of you in the industry, in and around Greater Philly region, you need to check out the BIA. Definitely get involved.
And I was telling them, I'm like, guys, what you guys doing down there though? I was like, with the politics, like something as simple as, and I think New York State just did this about the squatter law.
Yeah.
I was like, why aren't we doing that here? Just common sense. You can't just squat in a person's house, take their house, and then this person now has to spend thousands of dollars, wait months to get you out. Like,
it's wild.
If you just do something like that, that would bring up the positivity, the raw, and speak of, we are for business and common sense and for real estate in Philadelphia.
But they're not, and that's where I was in
like something as simple as that.
I was down in Old City this morning. I had to pick something up from a client, and I saw 3 people ticketing cars versus 3 people helping get squatters out of properties. Right, like our priorities are just not in the right spot to make it.
And when you talk about all the new homes that Mayor Parker wants to build, the 30,000, one day these people are going to keep their homes. They're going to be able to rent them out.
Absolutely, they're
going to be landlords. Don't you want to make it a better situation for them?
We'll build wealth here, but it's like it all comes down to just they don't know what they don't know, and that's okay. Yeah. Like knowledge is power, right? If you don't truly understand how finance works, you'll never fix the problem.
Yeah.
So, all right, enough of that crap. Philly development's gonna always go. Again, when I tell people, I'm like, you're coming to Philly, it's your first time, just trust the process. It's gonna happen. You'll get it done. You might get bruised and beat up along the way. You're gonna enjoy it.
And then you'll enjoy the abuse.
You're gonna enjoy it.
Get your ass kicked, and you're gonna enjoy it.
You're gonna like it, and you're gonna say yes, sir. May I have another? Right? Like that's what's gonna happen to you. But just know there is hopefully a little pot or something at the end of the day. And again, back to what it is like for me, and like when I see stuff happen, like you mentioned already, it's like that community impact. That's worth it at the end of the day. Seeing the change in certain areas when you're able to feel safe to walk, your kid in your stroller around the block, and before there used to just be heroin needles on the sidewalk.
Absolutely.
Like that to me is massive impact.
Absolutely.
So, all right, I got to ask you, what the hell is a Zaddy, my man? You're wearing the shirt today. How do you? You're obviously Zaddy because you're wearing the shirt, but you gave me one over here. You gave me a little Zaddy shirt. I'm gonna hold it up.
With gifts.
Zaddy. I was gonna do a shout out a little Zaddy products. Like I gotta know. You're going to real estate and going to Zaddy. Talk to me about Zaddy because you've always called yourself Zaddy, even before this little trademark thing you told me about here. But talk to me about what is a Zaddy in your eyes.
Well, I never called myself Zaddy. See, that's the thing. I had women called me a Zaddy. I didn't even know what it was years ago, and they called me Zaddy, and then I looked it up, and it meant sexy, sophisticated man, and it's a compliment, right? And so at the time, one day I'm in CVS and I see like an aisle where men's products are. They got the beard, oils and the men's grooming, and it actually looked nice. Like it looked like they gave a crap about us for once, right?
Yeah.
And normally women's, they got LEDs and it's all like lovely. They got like a virtual reality like servant for the women, like And for us, it's like a dark, shadowy spot. Yeah. And this time it actually looked nice. So I'm with my IP lawyers in Miami, and it came in my mind. I was like, Zaddy Men Skincare, and they looked at me like, oh, and I was like, y'all, that's not still my idea, right? And we got started right on it right away. And what Zaddy has morphed into, now that was years ago, that was like 2017, what Zaddy has morphed into to see what we have, it is a wellness brand. It's a luxury wellness brand for men. And a Zaddy is basically a guy that is like a mentor, that could be a mentor. It can be a mentor to men. He is.
So how do I become a Zaddy?
Well, you
think I'm a Zaddy?
You already are. Let me ask you. You know, you got the beard.
All right, I got the beard.
You got the beard.
I do.
You are an owner in a successful business. You go at work every day. You're doing multiple things. You know, you're a family man. You know, you take care of your lady. You know, you are a Zaddy. Every man is a Zaddy in their own way. You know, if you are pursuing to be the best version of yourself, then you are a Zaddy. And you could be a Zaddy.
It's like you're only competing against yourself. You're a Zaddy. Like, Zaddy. Like, I'm trying to, like, what's your tagline? Like,
be more than a man. It's you're the ultimate version of a man.
I love it.
And the products are keeping men masculine. So we live in a day and age where everything that we do in our environment is taking away our masculinity. Mm-hmm. So one of the main things that is taking away our masculinity is, what guys don't understand, your skin is your biggest organ, and what you put on your skin, is being absorbed into your body. Zaddy's products are all natural, no synthetics, and a lot of them have organic ingredients and extracts, and it protects a man's testosterone levels and his hormone levels. So when you go in and you see like some of the OGs like Kills, or you see Jack Black and things of that sort, there's synthetics in there. They are, and while they are nice and they're like the OGs,
it might make your skin feel good, like they're putting toxins in you.
But it's toxic in you, you know, and that's what we are. The as you can say, the new Thundercat kid on the block that is using state of the art ingredients, packaging, and we are
like I'm looking at the ingredients here: leaf this, extract that. Like it's all natural stuff that you're not
like I mean, we got
I'm looking up,
matcha
like,
and ginseng.
I'm looking up like what is stem C? Like what do I do with stem C?
So stem, and this is the thing about, and we're about educating men on their health and their skincare routine.
I see vitamin C in here. I don't think I drink enough orange juice.
You don't drink enough orange juice. That could be good too, because orange juice got a lot of sugar in it. But you can, you know, stem C is our stem C serum, which is our vitamin C serum. And vitamin C serum is great for hyperpigmentation, brightening, is great for fine lines, is great for anti-aging. You know, like as men, our skin actually ages slower than women, but when we do start to age, it goes faster.
It goes
than
to hell. It goes to hell.
Right. So you want to still be that same spry guy that you were in your 20s, and your 30s, and your 40s, and your 50s. And one of the things, and we specialize in that.
So I'm assuming this is the first part of the Zaddy brand, building the health portion of it, right? Taking care of your skin, taking care of your body, not putting toxins on you. How about like deodorant and stuff? Like you hear like the horror stories about deodorant. Like there's people that don't even wear it because they're worried about the aluminum and stuff.
So one of the main things, like in business, we want to morph into that, but we have, like right now, Zaddy Essentials, we have Ritual, which is our face and beard wash that has matcha and ginseng in it, and it also has things in it that is good for if you have acne. Like also, we just talked about the Stem C serum, our beard oil and our body oil Forge, and then our Hydra Plus, which is our daily moisturizer, which is also anti-aging. So
it smells good too.
Yeah, that has a nice, beautiful, natural smell to it. So we care about all of that type of stuff. Like instead of having fragrances, because fragrances can be toxic to us, whatever, we have essential oil smells and things of that sort. So we're doing that, and then later we're coming out. We already are in production for supplements for men, natural testosterone boosters.
So like a men's daily type. That's how I just relating to what I know.
A daily multivitamin, like our multivitamin is methylated. right? And when people don't, what does methylation mean? So methylation is basically like when oil comes out of the ground, it's crude oil, but when it goes in your car, it's clean, it's gasoline.
Yep.
Our body does the same thing when it comes to the food that we eat. And the methylation process is how our body breaks down the food in order for us to get them vitamins and the nutrients and the minerals. But a lot of multivitamins that you see in CVS or Walgreens, they're not methylated. So you ever hear like people say talk shit on supplements like your body can't even break it down.
Yeah.
A lot of that is some of that is can be true, but a lot of it is because it's a shitty multivitamin at the end of the day. It's not methylated. So like for one instance, one of the big ones, folic acid. Folic acid in America, 44% of Americans cannot break down folic acid. I am one of them. I have a mutation gene that it does not allow it. So folic acid, which is sprayed on everything, grains, oats, wheats.
Folic acid is not good to have in your body, right?
It's not good if your body can't break it down. So our multivitamin, when it does come out, is going to have the L-methylfolate, which is the methylated version of folate. So your body already recognizes it and can use it as a nutrition value. So
I see the passion in you, like talking about, like I could, like
because
you're like nerding out over this. I love it.
I am nerd. So
I love that.
It's sexy, it's sophisticated, it's a lifestyle, but it is a target.
What do you see? What's the vision for that? Like, all right, Zach, like, am I gonna see this on Macy's stores, like racks? Like what am I gonna?
Maybe not Macy's because Macy's kind of going out of business, but you'll see it.
I'd like to see it before Macy's goes.
Right? No. So we are right now. We're online.
Yep.
And the store that aligns with us, the type of store that aligns with us, Target is great, but the really type of stores are like Nordstrom's.
Yeah, of course.
Saks Fifth Avenue, Neiman Marcus.
Yep.
We would be.
I mean, if I saw this on a shelf, just the branding, the cleanliness, I'm buying this over anything else.
There you go.
Because like you go, like I bought, like I have product. Like I saw you post, you were there the other week, like just looking around, see what else there. I was like, I have that stuff, but it's like, to your point about this dark area, like what are my options? Like,
what are your options?
I need something for my beard. I'm like,
you want
one or two? like exactly. This one's blue. All right, I'll take it.
Exactly. And women already know what Zaddy means. So when you a guy and you have the brand, no different than like Ferrari or whatever, she already knows you mean business. She already knows sexy and sophisticated.
I just like starting with the health side of this, what you're doing with the supplements and the body care stuff, because not a lot of men do that. We're not educated, but it's also, it's male, right? It's gonna be tough. I'm not putting this shit on my skin.
Exactly. And that's a great, thank you for bringing that up. And what guys don't understand, skincare is not girly, it is strategic. It's a strategic thing for your skin.
Yep.
And another reason you want to do it, because your lady is gonna run into a guy that is into skincare, and she gonna come home to you like, boo, why don't you do this, or why don't you do that? A lot of our buyers are women that are buying it for their men. They're putting their men on it.
That's great.
And one of the things about us guys, we are insecure. Let's be for real. Guys are some of the most let me tell y'all, I'm talking to the camera. We are some of the most insecure. We just don't show it, right? Because we carry
Not me, I'm a Zaddy.
He's a Zaddy.
Not
Brian
me.
is on it.
Not me.
I'm on it. But like, and guys out there, it is cool I know everything because I know nothing. Let me repeat that. I know everything because I know nothing. I'm always willing to learn and be a little submissive and find out what can better myself. And Zaddy helps you get to that point, and we can grow together. So that's what Zaddy is, man.
What do you talk about the other pieces like you're gonna build out? Like I love like the mentorship ideas you mentioned, like the wealth brand. Like, are you gonna teach people how to build wealth?
So that's one of our key things is teaching.
I love that.
Is teaching men how to build wealth, teaching men, but what's the main version of wealth as we get older is health.
Yep.
Some of my mentors, I have some mentors that's billionaires, and I know, and you hear them talk about, how much money they would give to just go back from 63 to 43?
Correct. All of it.
They were all of it. You know why? Because all of it because
I know
time.
What I do now. I'd give it all
You'll
back.
Kill it because they'll be worth double.
Yep.
Right. And and so that's what the thing is. So it's one of the things is like the value of just knowing what things to eat, how to eat it. You know, keep your glucose levels down, your insulin levels down as a guy. Knowing how much to, like me, I'm 43. I don't even barely drink anymore. I do have a drink, but I barely drink anymore because you start understanding your priorities change and it can be toxic. Learn about the stock market and crypto. I love crypto. You know, just things you can do to invest, increase your value. So that's what Zaddy is, being the best version of yourself, being in competition with
I love
yourself.
that, Shawn. I'm excited to see where it goes. Like I've been seeing you, you know, because we met when, right? Like you talked about this a long ago. I remember even coming to my office one day. You're like, I'm doing like a product. I'm coming out. We're gonna do this product, and it's great. Here it is.
Tom Ford and Hims. That's where Zaddy is going. Is Tom Ford and Hims.
I like that.
Like, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna smell good and have a huge erection. Like that's
exactly
what you're going for. I mean, if I had to put the two together, right? Like that's what.
And your microbiome on the inside of your stomach is going to be. I love it. It's smell good and have a huge erection. We got make sure you put that down.
That's your tagline.
Exactly.
No, this is cool. I love the branding though. I mean, just again, like I'm visionary, right? I can see things like if you fulfill upon this and you start getting this in the right hands of people, like the branding's clean. I like the bottles. Like it is. It looks
what,
good,
man? Put some of that beard oil on.
Put the beard oil on. You want me to try it? Which one? Which one do I need?
This one right here.
Drop. I need a little drop of it. Put on my hand and rub it in.
Yeah.
All right. Let me try. Just rub it in real quick. Let me see.
Yeah. There you go. Just rub it in.
If I start breaking out though, that's not going to be good for your brand.
You ain't gonna break out, man. You gonna break up. You about to start flying.
Yeah. Let's see.
Look at that.
Feels good.
Absolutely.
Rub it in.
It smells amazing.
I use beer stuff, so I'm not, you know, but I'm going to start using your stuff.
Absolutely. You ain't even need to rebrush it.
What's the I need a big discount code for the website.
I got you. I got you.
Awesome. Well, let's switch gears a little bit too, because we still have some time. I want to get into, you know, just little technology, but you mentioned the word, you mentioned the word crypto.
Yes.
You said you love crypto still. Right. Talk about that a little bit. What are you doing in crypto? Are there any companies that are building on the blockchain that you're following? I just want to understand your opinion on crypto.
So crypto to me is obviously it's the way of the world, right? I'm pretty much understand Bitcoin. And understand where crypto is going. And I was one of those guys in 2020 when Bitcoin was crashing because they were saying that China was banning it, that whole thing. And I was like, real estate's going up, crypto's going down. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. And then when I started really studying it and I came across Michael Sayer, I was just like, I'm a dumbass. I was like, this is where it's going. And with crypto, especially for just people, especially the Black community, minority community, it's an opportunity to really gain wealth and be patient in where you are going to actually get a chance to make money by putting money away into something. We don't have the same opportunities as our parents did. The baby boomers, they could just save their way to wealth. We now have to beat inflation. We now got to hedge our bets against what's going on. And crypto is that. So with Bitcoin is like buying a piece of Manhattan back in like the 1970s, the 1980s, you know, or no, the 1800s, I'm sorry. And that's what Bitcoin is today. So imagine if you could own a piece of Manhattan or Harlem back in 1850. That's what Bitcoin is. That's what the blockchain is today. So, or shit,
interesting.
Just Philadelphia. And that's how I look at it. And everything has been digitized.
Why Bitcoin? I'm just curious because you're talking. I own 0 Bitcoin.
Okay. So,
but I love crypto and I love the blockchain. I'm just curious why Bitcoin for you?
So Bitcoin is as they would say, is like the version of gold, right?
It's like gold bar.
It's like gold bar. So everything has been digitized. The cab has been digitized. It's called Uber. Brick and mortar has been digitized. It's called Amazon. Even your house, even the hotels have been digitized. It's called Airbnb, right?
Sonder too, right?
Sonder, maps have been digitized, the CD. What's the last thing to really be digitized that's the most important? It's an asset. And that's what Bitcoin is, right? It is the asset. It is the OG of it. It can't be hacked. So it's only 21 million, which means that now it's a fixed supply, and about 2 million to 2.5 million is already lost. So it can't be hacked. It's really for the people. It's 21 million of it, so it cannot be manipulated as in like printed more like our money is, or inflation. That's one of the things about it. And it's not controlled by like Ethereum or Solana. Those are XRP. Those are actually controlled a lot by the shareholders. Bitcoin is controlled by the people. It is a monetary system that is out there.
I agree. I agree with your sentiment on the tech. The technology of the blockchain is not going anywhere.
It's not. And it's a technology piece if you look at it like that.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is nothing but technology.
Yeah. And I just think you're going to eventually see where I did a podcast a few years ago with a gentleman, Brad Lee. He runs the Dropping Bombs podcast. Yeah. But he asked me specifically, because I went on to talk about, I talked about the virtual world, because we do high-end visualizations for some companies that, some stuff I can't even show, right? Like it's cool. Yeah, nice. And he asked me this question. He's like, Brian, like, what do you think about the moon landings? Were they real? And I'm just looking at him. I'm like, Brad, like, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I believe it either way. Like, I guess you can make arguments either way. Like, is it real? Is it not real? Whatever. But what I can assure you is that I can make it look like that was happening real. Like, you wouldn't know that it wasn't real, right? Yeah. Like, I could make it look better than the current footage that we have, right? And visualize it, and you'd be like, someone's walking on the moon right now. But I had that technology in my office over a decade ago. What do you think the governments have? Right? Exactly. We're going to get it. But what I said to him, I go, the interesting thing about the blockchain technology is, what happens if, there's a murder case and like, you essentially, there's a video of Shawn committing a murder, and I have it, it's real,
run with
right? But like, what's actually going to happen, I believe, is that the blockchain is what's going to prevent you from being convicted for murder someday. The blockchain is going to recognize that you're sitting in this room, some sensor grabs your ID, you as a human being, and certain assets tied to that.
Yep.
And I think it's going to start with location tracking. You're already seeing companies do that, but that's the first piece of it. And I think that's where the blockchain technology is truly going to excel. And then as assets, like, what happens if your family member dies, right? And you have a will, right? It's not going to be no more paper wills, right? It's going to be boom, click,
right?
Your Bitcoin disperses to your people per whatever blockchain contract you set up for your will. Boom, done. Yep. That's how the world's going to move. It's getting there. It's getting there.
But just like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
With the permits. Yeah. And you got 15, with AI, with another thing, with AI is the way to go, man. ChatGPT.
Yep.
That's like my buddy right now. That's my homie.
How many hours a day are you in ChatGPT? I'm just curious.
I'm on ChatGPT, bro. I don't know, man. It's getting bad. It's getting bad. One night I was like, bro, you want to go get a drink? I'm like, oh, it's ChatGPT. Damn, because I'm using a motherfucker so much, right? So it's like,
that's awesome.
But no, like AI and all that type of stuff, and I do believe like the blockchain is just going to make things run smoother. It is nothing but a ledger. Mm-hmm. And it's the ultimate bookkeeper.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, that's exactly what it is, right? But what people don't understand, and a lot of, because we're like people think we're like older because we're like in our late 30s, early 40s, but we're really the young guys, right? Right. And what a lot of the older guys don't understand is in the .com era, when that first came out, when we was like in college, and it blew up, because a lot of guys, it's going to blow up like the .com era. But what came out of the .com era? Google, Apple,
eBay,
Facebook, eBay. All these things came out of it. And with blockchain, like you said, we don't even know what's going to come out of it. We just know it's some crazy dope shit going to come out of it.
99%, like the NFT project, you see all this stuff, 99% of them are going like this. But there's the 1% that'll rise up, right? There's going to be someone that does the real estate version of it. There's going to be someone that does the financial version of it. There's going to be someone that, takes deeds and puts it in a virtual way, right? It's going to happen. It's just keeping an eye on it, but it is real. And I tell people, look, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever currency, it's a currency. You need to understand the technology and how the technology works.
Exactly.
But yeah, Shawn, I want to, as we wrap up here, I always ask, like, if you could take yourself to, you said you're 43, if you could go back and tell your 17-year-old self something, what would that something be?
Wow, it's a good one.
That you know today, right? Like something you might have known. Like you made the one thing, I know everything because I know nothing, right? Like that's good. But like, what like piece of advice would you say? Like
to yourself.
Yeah. Trademark Zaddy earlier. Like what's that advice?
It's it's always something different. I always try to go with the first thing that comes to mind. And one of the things that come to my mind is, because I did this, but believing yourself, like to the point of like wholeheartedly that like death is on the line. Like be that and put yourself in risky situations, as in like for instance, I wish I would have spoke up more when it came like for football. When I felt my coaches was overlooking me. I wish I would have busted in their office and been like, I'm better than the guy that you got in front of me. Put me in the fucking game. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have been to put that type of pressure on yourself. Do not be afraid to put the pressure on yourself, because 9 times out of 10, you're gonna rise to the occasion. And when you rise to that occasion, you become faster what you're gonna become later.
Yep.
And if you start becoming faster what you're gonna becoming later, now you're gaining more ground to become more earlier.
Absolutely.
And that's what I would tell myself.
I love that. That's powerful. Well, Shawn, I can't thank you enough today coming on the show. Lots of nuggets. I am super excited to see where the hell this thing goes, man. I'm excited for it because I remember you had this little infancy idea and you're like, I'm going to do this fine. I'm like, yeah, sure. Everyone always has ideas. Then all of a sudden here he is. He's got opening. He's got the product. The website's up. I saw the photo shoots. We'll tag some of those so people can see.
Appreciate it.
It's Zaddy. It was zaddyproducts.com is where I can find the stuff.
Zaddyproducts.com.
I love it.
We're working on getting zaddy.com. And I
love it.
Absolutely, bro.
Cool. Shawn, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, brother. It was good, man. And congratulations, man. I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
Absolutely.